Welcome back. A new order has taken effect in Columbia today after the previous stay-at-home order expired. ABC 17's Sydney Olsen is live at City Hall sitting down with Columbia Mayor TREECE to discuss Columbia's new normal.
Deb, I am here live with Columbia Mayor TREECE, and thank you so much for joining us here once again. I want to start out by talking about the new order that Columbia is under as of today. Can you kind of break down what is different under this new order from what we saw under the original stay-at-home order?
Well, today we're able to take a measured step forward in our response to coronavirus and on our path to economic recovery. And starting today, all types of businesses will be able to open. Now, there'll still be protections in place so that we can further lift restrictions later, but we want to maintain the results that we're seeing. And to do that, we want to make sure that the public is protected against a very highly contagious disease with no known vaccine and without widespread testing at the moment.
Now, you mentioned maintaining numbers that we're seeing, and we have not seen a jump in cases lately. The number of cases in the county total has remained at 96 for several days now. So since we're not seeing a jump in numbers, why do you think it's important to continue having these restrictions in place in order to safely reopen fully?
Well, you don't have to work at a meat packing plant to experience a spike in cases. Anybody is vulnerable to this novel coronavirus. We want to see a sustained reduction of cases over a period of 14 days. That gives our healthcare providers and our public health department the time and the resources they need to do that important contact tracing and preserve hospital supplies and the PPE.
So you mentioned, well, the city order is going to take place in phases.
Right.
So what do you guys want to see before these restrictions are lifted as far as the capacity limits for businesses that can now reopen?
Well, we want to take the next 2 or 3 weeks so that individuals and companies and business owners can those physical protections in place, those physical barriers that help protect their employees and their customers. Keep in mind, businesses will still be able to have 25% of their fire-rated capacity for small retailers and 10% of their capacity for large retailers, big box stores. And then at the end of that 2 or 3 week period, we'll evaluate, are we seeing a rise in cases? And if we are, we'll ask ourselves, is it manageable? And when the answer to both of those questions are, we can control the spread of this disease, we can take that next step forward by allowing groups of maybe 50 people to gather or 50% of that capacity. So it's really a measured response to short-term economic recovery.
So those phases are put into place to keep people safe.
That's right.
Now, a lot of people are happy to see an order in place still. Other groups have voiced other opinions, saying that they want to see things open up fully, they want to get back to work. Some have even discussed taking legal action against the city or the health department. What would you say to those people as to why it's important to do this slowly, the slow reopening rather than all at once?
Well, look, this isn't a switch that we flip on or off. This is a dial that we slowly turn, and when we see cases, we have to dial it back. And if we don't see additional cases, we can take another step forward. But keep in mind, we're still under a statewide order as well that is very similar to the city of Columbia. So even if we would lift our local order, there would still be a 25% cap on occupancy rates for businesses right here in Columbia due to that statewide order. I think having your local decision makers make these determinations also give the very opportunity that these business owners are taking to contact their elected officials and have different definitions in place and different protections and exemptions in place for those essential and non-essential businesses.
Okay, thank you so much. And coming up at 6, we're going to be discussing impacts on the city's budget due to COVID-19, so you'll want to stay tuned for that. Reporting live in Columbia, Sydney Olsen, ABC 17 News.